Hey y'all. Ooh. Okay. It is cup of tea here. Y'all, I tried this new hairstyle. It's a petal lock bun. I didn't do the whole thing. I didn't pedal the whole thing. Like some of these locks right here, I kind of just wrapped it around like that. But I think it looks so fetch. So I was going to put on some makeup. Well, I did put on makeup. I was going to put on foundation, but then I didn't feel like doing it. But then I was like, I'm just going to go on without anything on. But I recently bought some liquid blush. Trees has been telling me to try liquid blush for the longest. And I finally gave in. I got some by Milani. And, oh, by the way, y'all. Yesterday was the last day of Kwanzaa, and this was Babe's gift to me. He wanted to upgrade my ring. Isn't it so freaking cute? So cute. Look at that. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. And it's funny because I'm not gonna say a ring person, because I do love, I wear my ring every single day. I don't like if I don't have it on. Sometimes I take it off if I'm doing my hair or something like that. But if I have forgotten to put my ring on, I'd be like low-key panicking a little bit. So I do love my ring and what it symbolizes. But I've never been a person that's like, I need the biggest, baddest ring on the block. No. To sum it up, I'm more of like a simple person when it comes to my wedding ring. But what's funny is, like last week I was watching some video, and this doesn't happen often, but I was looking at, it was some lady, I don't even remember the video, but I was like, her ring is so pretty, that's so cute. And her ring looked like this. If I can remember correctly, it looked just like this a little bit, or a lot bit. And I was like, her ring is so cute. And then he gave me this yesterday. I'm going to add a clip to here for Kwanzaa, for the end of Kwanzaa, we exchanged gifts. And also, well, I'm not going to go there. Well, yes, I will say. Kwanzaa, you're supposed to exchange like educational gifts and things like that, but I'm a big person on like doing like adding your own twist to things. So we make that day into whatever gifts we want to give. That's what we give. But anyway, y'all didn't come here for any of that. I just got distracted. I was telling y'all about this blush I put on. I did my eyebrows. I did a little mascara, a lip liner, and a little gloss. And I'm also brave enough to start doing my nails again. If y'all do not know, I used to wear press-ons faithfully. I have a video that, like, my most viewed video is my press-ons. I think it's like 50K views. Because I used to use Gorilla Glue with them. And I got that tip from an elderly woman. She was actually one of my clients some years ago. She had some cute, she used to always keep her nails done. And they used to always be painted red, and they were like stiletto. No, they weren't stiletto. They were like coffin shaped. Or no, they were longer and they were almond. And I thought it was so cute. She was like late 80s or early 90s. She was late 80s. And I thought it was so cute how she always kept herself together. I just love seeing that type of stuff because goals. And so I remember I asked her, I like to talk, y'all. I'm so off topic. I asked her about her nails one day, and she was like, I've been using super glue since forever. And so, boop, I started using Gorilla Glue on mine. And then sometime last year or the year before last, I want to say, I ended up getting, I think you pronounce it onycholitis on my nails. I believe it came from super glue. I believe it came from the Gorilla Glue, but one of my coworkers was also a dermatologist, and she looked at it and she told me not to do anything to my nails, stop wearing nails, just paint, like cut them all the way down and paint them. And so I did that for about, I want to say, it's probably been over a year. But during the Christmas break, I saw my best friend, and she had her nails done. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's so freaking cute. I think I want to start doing my nails. So, here we are. And I was like, I gotta have these nails done with my new ring. I was painting them for the longest, and that was cute too. But it's just so much maintenance because they chip and you got to repaint them and chip and repaint. So anyway, y'all came here because I'm talking about my breastfeeding journey. So it is currently January the 2nd, 2025. Your girl is actually, I don't know if I should mention this or not, because I don't know if I'm going to upload this I'm going to upload it at the end of my fast. Okay. So I started this year off, well, today, because yesterday, like I said, was the last day of Kwanzaa. And so I was eating, especially since I knew I was about to do this fast. In my previous videos, y'all may have seen, I used to do monthly juice fast when I went on my plant-based. When I began my plant-based journey, I'm still plant-based, but baby, even though I don't eat meat, I was the starch queen, the carb queen, the snack queen, the sugar queen. And it's caught up to me. I know I just had a baby. It'll be 5 months ago on the 5th. So I've been giving myself grace, but I did say at the beginning of my postpartum, I said, once I stop breastfeeding, I will start back taking my health extremely serious. I will start back fasting, because I did hear that if you fast while you're breastfeeding, it will lower your supply. So I was telling myself after then I would lower my supply. I mean, I would start back with my juice fast. And I thought, why not start at the beginning of the year when I'm very dedicated to my goals? So, me and my auntie, we are fasting. Me and Shanika, she's fasting as well. When I used to do these fasts, I used to be very intentional about not talking to people, like really limiting my talk, which is kind of ironic because I am a therapist, so most of my job is talking. So I would only like limit my speaking to my clients and to my family here at home, my husband and my son. And now we have baby boy O'Donis as well. We're here. This is my first day of my fast, and I brought that up because I made a list of things to do when I start feeling like the fast is getting too tough. And one of those things is to record videos, YouTube videos, and I've been wanting to do a breastfeeding video and the books I read in 2024 video. And so this would be the perfect time to do it, to keep my mind off of eating, of the hunger pains. But yeah, I usually juice my actual fruit when I have the time to. Some months I didn't. I was just buying juice. So I bought this, the Nutson brand. It says morning blend. I like to keep it 100% fruit juice, but this one looked a little tempting. It says, what's in here? Pineapple, apple, orange, peach, papaya. It says it has those things in it. But my other one that I got is like straight grapefruit juice, which I feel like grapefruit is like one of the healthiest fruits. But anyway, breastfeeding. Y'all, I talked 8 minutes. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm liking this liquid blush too, by the way. I promise I'm gonna get into the breastfeeding, y'all. I just want to say this. So another thing that I noticed after breastfeeding was, well, it started around 3 months postpartum. I started getting hormonal acne again, and I was getting this really bad when I first went plant-based, but and then it cleared up when I was pregnant. And it's like, as soon as he turned 3 months, baby, the skin started back acting up. And I started Curology after Thanksgiving. I have faith that it's gonna work, so I don't really have any comments right now. I'm just, in my head, this is like, it's working. Okay, all right. So anyway, breastfeeding. So I stopped breastfeeding. Let me start back. So with my first son, who is 7 years old, I breastfed him for about a week, and it got too tough. Oh my goodness. And so I ended up stopping. And I remember I was so mad at myself. I felt so bad because I wanted to give my son the healthiest milk possible, you know, because we know all the facts of, but we know a lot of facts about breast milk and how healthy it is, all the uses, blah, blah, blah. Great, right? But breastfeeding is also very tough, especially if you don't really know what you're doing. So the first go around, I don't think I had all the knowledge. I didn't have all the support that I had with Odonis, as far as like a doula, a midwife. With Odonis, I had a midwife, I had a doula. They connected me to like this whole breastfeeding community called Queen Cocoa Beans in Charlotte. And everybody was just so knowledgeable, so helpful. They taught me all the things, all the breastfeeding things. My doula, shout out to Robin if she ever sees this video. I love her so much. She came over after I had Odonis, and she taught me how to use my breast pump. I was so freaking confused, so frustrated, because I felt like I didn't know nothing about like the whole pumping schedule, none of that stuff. But she came over and she made my life like 10 times easier when she came and taught me that stuff. So man, shout out to her. But at the beginning of my breastfeeding journey, or even before I gave birth, I told myself that I wanted to breastfeed for at least, at least 4 to 6 months. My initial goal was 6 months, but then I was like, maybe 4 to 6 months, because I realized like it was pretty taxing. And when I say taxing, I mean like mentally and physically it's taxing. It's not the most comfortable. It didn't hurt per se, especially since I learned how to actually pump, because what I was doing was pumping. I only literally breastfed Odonis for about a week or two maybe, and then after that my goal was to pump into the pump and make bottles through the pumped milk, because I really wanted to allow my husband to feed Odonis so I can get breaks. And so I started off pumping around the 2-week mark. Like I said, it's not painful, but it is not the most comfortable feeling either. Like well, I won't give y'all the example that I gave him, but you know, just imagine like a tool just attached to you for, I think I will pump like 15-20 minutes, which wasn't long, but it's like the whole process of getting up, going to the kitchen where you keep your pump because you just washed it, assembling the pump, putting it all together, attaching it to your body, pumping. If you have a baby, he or she either are sleeping or they're not asleep, so you need to give them some attention while you're pumping. Or even if they are asleep and you just wish that you could like use this time to sleep or catch up on other things like cleaning up, whatever else you might need to catch up on, you're having to take a break and actually pump. And that's just like thank God for the wearable portable pumps. Like that was very helpful, but at the same time you still have to be very careful because you don't want to like lean over and then everything spills. And my first pump was the Willow pump. Thank you to Portia who gifted me that pump. I loved it. But I then learned about the Bella Baby pump. I think that's the name of it. And it was $50 from Amazon. Man, I loved it. Loved it. It didn't spill. It was perfect. But I will be donating it soon. Well, the part that I can donate, I'll be donating that soon because like I said, I no longer pump. So I said 4 to 6 months was going to be my goal. When he turned 3 months, I had realized like, man, this is tough. I thought it was tough, but I try to be a person who don't complain that much. And if I do complain, I like to do something about it. Like this is just my personality. And so I would be complaining in my head because I just don't want to be that person that's walking around just complaining all the time. Like, do something about it. So I would keep my complaints in my head about like, man, I'm very happy that I'm able to do this for my son. Like it was conflicting thoughts. I would be happy that I could do it and grateful that I could do it. But then I would also be so tired of it. And I would find myself thinking like, man, I can't wait until month 4. Well, first I was saying I can't wait until February because that's when he'll be 6 months. And then I remember I told myself 4 to 6 months. So no, I can't wait until December because that's when he will be 4 months. So we went on a trip to Orlando for Thanksgiving with my in-laws. And I remember during that trip, I was so kind of annoyed at the fact that like I had to keep taking breaks pumping. And once again, I'm grateful that I was able to pump, but at the same time, like, it's just so time consuming. You have to, if you're getting ready to leave the house and go somewhere, or you want to go have fun or whatever it may be, you have to consider like, okay, what time was it when I last pumped? Is it gonna be pump? Is it gonna be time to pump again? Because I was pumping every 3 hours. I need to bring all my parts? I had a little bag. I need to bring my bag, bring some frozen milk. Like when we were traveling, I think we took 2 trips. Was it two or 3 trips? I think it was 3. No, it was 2 trips after I had O'Donnell's. And we were having to pack up stored frozen milk and make sure it stayed frozen and defrosting. All those things. And having a baby is already a lot. Like, it is a lot. Having a newborn baby, you already be tired. Your sleep schedule is thrown off. So it's just like, man, it was a lot. And so I was just so ready to have my body back. Like, have something back to normal, because I have learned that since having another child, I've had that yearning of like, man, I can't wait to be able to get back into the routine that I was in before I was pregnant. I wish that he could just, I wish this was the routine and I could just place him into that routine that I had before he was born. I wish that he could join. I wish I could like go back to that routine, that sense of normalcy. But then I realized like it would never be that way again, because your life has changed. So you just gotta jump back in. Like, I was watching this video of Deandra Sanders, and she had her baby around the same time I had O'Donnell's, and she was talking to her friend about the same thing. And then her friend was like, you know, you go searching for that sense of normalcy, but you have to realize it'll never go back to that way. You just gotta melt into your new normal. And so that's what I've been doing. But I also am really big on what can I control. If I can control it, let me do that. And if I can't, let me let it go. So I can control breastfeeding and having that sense of like normalcy back again whenever I met my goal. And so that's what I did. Like, I knew in my mind, once I stop breastfeeding, I can have my body back at least, you know. I'll be able to focus on my health like I wanted to. And true enough, I probably could have focused on my health then. But just the way that I wanted to do things, I felt like I could focus better on my health after I had him. So month 4, the beginning of December, and y'all, I didn't take no notes, so I'm just kind of like going all over the place. But month 4, December, after we left Orlando, well, while we were in Orlando, I said, all right, when we make it back home to North Carolina, I'm not going to pump anymore. I'm going to stop breastfeeding. And so that's what I did. When we made it back home, I researched how to dry up your supply. And before then, I was already kind of like not pumping every 3 hours like I was at first, because I kind of felt it. Oh, yeah. Okay. I kind of felt that I was going to stop. And then when we made it back home, I remember my grandma, when I was pregnant, when I had Chance, and I needed to dry my supply, she was telling me to put the cabbage leaves in. And so I did that. I put in cabbage leaves, but then I was also doing this other method, y'all. I'm a sucker for a home remedy. I love a home remedy. I love an old school remedy. I don't know why, but I do. And so, along with the cabbage leaves, I also read that you can take Sudafed to help dry up your supply as well. I wasn't too happy to do that because, I don't know, I'm just not that big these days on like taking medicine. But even though I've been taking like Tylenol if I got a headache, and I should go back to my feverfew tincture that I made. But anyway, so I was doing the cabbage leaves. I'm going to timestamp this for people who came directly for the tips. I was putting the cabbage leaves in my bra all throughout the day. So if I would put it in the morning, as soon as it got wilted, I would replace it. Kept doing it. Y'all, it's not the best smell. It smells like you're cooking cabbage, but hey, you're doing it for a reason. I would put the cabbage leaves in, and then I started taking the Sudafed. I went to Walgreens, and I actually talked to one of the pharmacists there, which is a new thing since I've been a grown up, y'all. I have been talking to, like, if I'm going to go pick up some medicine or something, or like get something over the counter, I'm gonna ask a question to the pharmacist if I have one. And so I asked the pharmacist at Walgreens, I was like, have you ever heard of women taking Sudafed to drive their supply? And she was telling me yes. And she was telling me, you know, what she had heard and all this stuff. And she didn't say, like, don't do it. So that was the green light that I needed. So I started taking that. It literally took about, I want to say it took about a week altogether. It took about a week for my supply to completely dry up. Ever so often, I would see some milk try to form, but I try my best to, like, not even, don't stimulate the boobs because you don't want milk to come out. So what I mean by that is, don't be tempted to pump because you feel like your breasts are getting engorged. Don't let yourself get engorged because you don't want to get mastitis. I think that's the name of it. You don't want to get that. And so, like my mom would say, she told me, like, if I did feel like I was getting engorged, to just hand express in the shower, but try not to let, like, hot water stay on your boobs for too long because you don't want them to get stimulated and then they'll start producing more milk. The key is we have to tell our bodies that we don't need more milk. The more your boobs get stimulated, the more it takes that as, okay, baby needs more milk, let me make more milk. So the less you're stimulating your boobs, the less that is producing milk. So the longer that I could take my boobs being full, the longer I took it. But when I felt like, okay, this is too heavy, then I would either hand express, and at the beginning I was using my pump, and I was only pumping to clear out any lumps that I felt. I wouldn't pump for 15 minutes. I would try my best not to even pump for 5 minutes, but just like pump some of that milk out and kind of take the lumps out, and then that would be it. And so after about a week, I'm trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. After about a week, like I said, it was not the most, well, I don't know if I said this, it was not the best, the most pleasurable experience, but I also know that, like, I was ready to get done. I knew what would be at the end of this road. So, I was able to stick it through, see it through. And as the days went on, it got easier. Like, I started noticing less and less milk being produced. So yeah, that's how I got here, y'all. It's currently January 2nd. I haven't pumped. I didn't pump majority of December. Like I said, I stopped pumping the beginning of December. So I'm out probably about a month of no breastfeeding. I also want to throw this in here. I noticed, and I just wrote this down as I was writing about my fast. But I noticed, y'all, when I started pumping, I lost so much weight. And it was like magic for real. And then I read that doesn't happen to every woman. They say it's like genetics. I had to ask my mom, did she lose a lot of weight when she was breastfeeding? But I lost so much weight without even trying when I first started pumping, because I started out, when I first went plant-based, I got down to 178. Loved it. Then I found out I was pregnant, gained the pregnancy weight, whatever. Don't really care about that because I feel like you're growing a whole human, whatever. Really didn't care too much about my postpartum weight either until now, because now I feel like, okay, it's time to do something about it since I don't have an excuse. But yeah, so when I first started pumping or breastfeeding, I went from I think I was 201, the highest in my pregnancy. I believe I was 201. And then I got down to 185. Yep, 185 when I first weighed myself. And I'm not even big on weighing myself these days, but like, I did want to. I was curious. So I got down to 185 without even, y'all, I was eating so much. Literally, I felt like I was eating like a man. I was so thirsty. I was so hungry. Eating all around the clock, drinking water all around the clock. So you would think like you wouldn't lose weight, you would think you would gain weight, but I was literally losing weight, looking so good. And so yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But then around, like I said, the 3-month mark, I don't know what happened, but like I think my hormones was trying to regulate themselves. I don't know. But then I gained weight. which was crazy because me and my husband did like a little health challenge. I can't remember exactly what we did, but I think we did it for like a week or two. And I gained weight, which was so funny. And so it was funny and confusing. But I gained weight. I got up to 195 during that time period. And then recently, since I stopped in December, I realized, and I didn't even step on the scale, but I realized I feel like you can tell. You know your body, you can tell when you're gaining weight and losing weight, even without looking at a scale. So I felt like I was gaining weight. I was looking at myself and I could tell I was gaining weight since I stopped breastfeeding, which was so crazy because I felt like I wasn't eating more. I don't know, but I felt like I wasn't eating more. But during the winter break, we just went home to Mississippi, and I was talking to my aunt. We were talking about weight loss goals and health goals and stuff like that. And she told me she had a scale she had just bought. So we ran to her room, and I got on the scale, and I looked at it, y'all. I was 205. 205. Crazy. But that made me even more excited to start this fast and start my health journey. I'm calling it Project Snapback 2025 because I'm snapping back to the healthy mindset and healthy mindset that I was at and in before I got pregnant. That whole year of me not eating meat, of me being dedicated. And I wasn't just not eating meat. I was like really not eating fast food. I was trying my best. Well, was I still eating bread? I think I was still eating bread, but not really eating a lot of sweets. And I was real intentional about what I put into my body. And it wasn't even for weight loss. It was for spiritual reasons. Me just taking care of the body that God gave me. Taking care of the body that God lives in. Treat my body like the God that it is. So that was my mindset. And I'm dedicated and motivated and determined to get back there. And so it all came right on time, post breastfeeding. Yeah, and I'm going to share that with y'all. Like I said, I feel like it was all over the place, but I think I got everything out that I wanted to get out. It just probably wasn't in the right order, but hey. I think that's it, y'all. I want to thank y'all for watching. Like I said, my next video will be about the books that I read 2024. Excited to share that. I've been seeing the girls do this, and I think it's so funny. All right. I gotta get to work this afternoon. Let me look at my schedule. If y'all want to hear more about my fast, let me know in the comments. My fast and how they operate. All right, love y'all. Peace.